My name is Tepera with the Dekeday Foundation. Our foundation enjoys recognizing young students. With me here today is Rebecca Heins. Rebecca Heins has type 1 diabetes, which makes her being an active kid very difficult. But if you know her, she's a very cool friend. Rebecca, what's up? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Before we get into things you like to do, tell us your age.
I'm 10.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
Where do you go to school?
I go to Gilmore.
Tell us about your diabetes.
I was diagnosed when I was 3, and it doesn't really stop me from doing anything I want to do.
How do kids treat you at school?
They treat me fine, but sometimes, if they find out about it, they'll ask me a lot of questions, and sometimes I don't really feel comfortable answering those questions.
We hear you like to sing. How are you involved with it?
I did the CCISD honor choir, and I did choir at Gilmore.
We know you used to do dance. What type of dance, and tell us about it?
I did ballet, and I did it for 2 years, and I did 3 recitals at the University of Houston.
Have you ever played sports?
I played volleyball at the YMCA, and I did karate for a year, a long time ago.
Oh, me too. I'm playing again this fall. I think it's a lot of fun. Do you like it?
I love volleyball too.
Okay, I heard you've been traveling to different countries. Tell us, where have you been?
I've been to France, and I've also been to Algeria, which is in North Africa.
Are you going anywhere this summer?
I'm going to London, and then I'm going again to Algeria.
That's so cool. I want to go there. I know you're young, but what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a doctor.
Oh, me too. What kind of doctor?
A pediatrician. It's like a kid's doctor.
Oh, that's cool. Who has been your biggest influence in life?
Well, my mom and dad have been.
Well, Rebecca, you're definitely a unique person, and I'm sure you will be successful in life. I truly represent you spending time with us. The Dekeday Foundation is proud to recognize you as a Student of the Week.
Hello, I'm David Tepera of the Dekeday Foundation. This portion of the interview is to help educate people about understanding type 1 diabetes. With us here to explain today is Rebecca's mom, Amel Heins. Okay, I did say it properly.
Yes, you did.
Well, how are you? And thank you for inviting us to your house.
I'm good. Thank you for coming and doing this and for choosing us.
Yeah, and we are. We're hoping that families who have diabetes and other students who might have these types of children as classmates got to get a better understanding. So let's just get started. Explain to us adolescent type 1 diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes, most people are very familiar with diabetes, and a lot of people don't know that there's type 1 and type 2. And type 1 is when the pancreas actually stops making insulin. Type 2 is when it's still making insulin and you can still treat it with pills or with diet.
Okay.
Type 1, you have to have insulin.
Okay.
You can't live, you can't survive without an insulin regimen.
Okay, and how do you administer insulin?
The first year of her diagnosis, it was with shots, and that was the hardest. That was really hard. She was only 3 years old, and she was a baby, and I was giving her these shots, and they would bruise her skin, and it was very
How often
stressful.
were those shots?
3 times a day.
My goodness.
Yes.
Okay, so that had to be very hard for a mother
It
to
was
be giving
very
a child.
hard. I had called the hospital to get an appointment for her so she can be followed over there because
Right.
she couldn't do it here anymore. And when I told them, they said, "Well, we can see her in a month." And when I told them she had a seizure, they said, "Bring her tomorrow."
Okay.
So when we went, and they said the first thing they want to do is put her on a pump.
Okay.
And of course, I had no idea what it was, but
Right.
this is the most wonderful invention.
Okay. Is that what she's currently using?
Yes.
Okay.
She's been using it since 2007. 2006. The end of 2006. She was diagnosed 2005, October 2005, and she started using the pump the end 2006, beginning 2007.
Okay. And I'm going to come back to the
Yes.
pump. But what's kind of important, and people are wondering, you said she was diagnosed at 3.
Yes.
What were the symptoms? What was going on in her life that you knew something was wrong?
It started, she would be hungry all the time.
Okay.
And I thought, well, she's just growing. She's going through a growth spurt. But as much as she was eating a lot, but she was losing weight.
Okay.
And she was thirsty a lot.
Okay, I've heard that.
And sleepy. You know how it's hard to try to put a 3-year-old down for a nap?
Right.
She would just go sleep.
Okay.
I look for her, she's asleep. And I thought her brother was a baby at that time, and I was very busy, and you don't think your child has diabetes. You don't.
Right.
You're not like, oh, she probably has diabetes, I'm gonna take her. I was just, maybe she has a virus, or so I took her, and that was it. They
Okay.
diagnosed her UTMB.
Okay, well, let's get back to the pump. So how is it something she carries around with her? It's on her all the time? And explain that.
She wears it all the time. It connects to her body through a tubing and a cannula.
Okay.
And we have to change the set every 3 days.
Okay.
So every 3 days we go and we do a change of the site and the set and everything. But when she's wearing it, she can just give insulin with the push of a button.
Okay, so she can inject it herself.
Yes.
There's a button. I mean, diagnosed at 3, you said she has a younger brother. How has the family life been? I mean, how do we all adjust it at home? She travels, goes on vacation.
Yes.
You obviously have to adjust for that and prepare for it. So how has life been?
It's been challenging, made us stronger, made us more organized.
Yes.
What I tell her is the way her diet should be is a healthy person's diet. It's not because I tell her it's not because you have diabetes that you can't have. Anybody who wants to be healthy should be following the same diet you're doing.
Right.
So to make her, I never want her to feel different.
Well, what about her at school? I mean, how is she? She's not with you during that time, and now she's a 5th grader. I mean, beautiful young girl that was sitting here and very active, and I mean, someone doesn't feel different. She seems, beyond being different than anybody else. I mean, she
shines. She shines.
She does.
She's wonderful.
Well, so how is she being monitored at school? I know she's got the pump, so I guess that helps. I mean, does the nurse on staff know about it?
Yes, the nurse and the staff know about it, but I take care of her, even when she's at school. I've been doing so well taking care of her that I can't trust anybody else doing it.
Okay, so you get everything taken care of before she gets off to school. Is that what you're saying?
And then when she's at school, if she has to go have her snack, she calls me.
Wow, that's so interesting. I mean, it's other families that are looking at this, because this is diabetes on the severe end.
Yes,
We all know somebody that's diabetic.
Yes.
And has some type 1, type 2, and this is a severe at the most, and a child. And you've become an expert, and hear her calling you saying I had so many grams, nutritional expert that I'm trying to teach my kids about, protein, sugars, and carbs and so forth, and then it's and you stay monitored with it throughout the day. So this is other families are really listening hard to this, that you're helping them on these kind of decisions. Well, how is she presently doing? And what kind of future do you look for?
She's doing fabulous, and I predict a beautiful future for her. The way we talk about it is we say, we have diabetes, but diabetes doesn't have us.
Okay.
We have a support group. We go to a support group and we do the walks.
Okay.
To every year, you can tell from
Right.
the,
Yes.
and this is our walk T-shirt actually that she was wearing and I'm wearing. This
Oh, okay.
is how we. So we are very active. I'm a JDRF advocate. JDRF is Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Okay.
We send emails to whenever there's a law that's about to pass, or we work with the congressman and everybody to see, to make sure they're taking care of everything and going, looking forward to a cure.
Okay. Well, it's fascinating. You're not just taking care of your own daughter, but you're helping
Yes.
others take care of their children as well.
Yes, definitely.
Well, you guys are definitely amazing people. What kind of
Thank you.
advice can you give other parents who might be dealing with this situation?
Be strong. Be strong for them. Be strong for your child, and don't let diabetes have you.
Yeah, that was a good statement you said a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what about other kids or classmates? They might find out that there's a student that's diabetic in their class, and I mean all that you just said. It's tough enough being a kid sometimes anyway, and then you throw all this on top of it and to try to be able to fit in. So, is there any kind of advice you can give for other classmates how they should respond?
If they have questions, they need to ask.
Right.
And just so far it has been really, really well at her school. She has never been bullied. In regards to her diabetes.
Right.
She doesn't really like it that much now that, she's growing.
Right.
And, going through all the changes already
Right.
and having diabetes to deal with.
Right.
It's kind of becoming a little harder. But the children at school have been good. And every year I have some books, children's books. And I go and give them to her so she can read them to her classmates.
Oh, okay. Help educate them.
Yes, to help educate them. Her friends we need them to watch for her.
Right.
She could go through a moment where, because if her blood sugar is too high, she can be anxious. If her
Right.
blood sugar gets too low, both situations are not good for her.
Right.
And it's her surroundings that can help with this.
Right.
They can help watch and make sure and that she's okay without
Okay.
without asking her to
Right.
making her feel that she's different.
Right. Absolutely. So
educating our children is very important.
right. Well, this has been a very fascinating and eye opener for me as well, and hopefully for everybody that's out there that's getting to view this. Well, parents and students, the Dekeday Foundation truly appreciates the Heins welcoming us into their house, helping us understand type 1 diabetes, and we just want to say thank you. And as always, be safe, be responsible.
Thank you.